Hi, and welcome to Learning with Mrs. Lasley. Today I'll be talking to you about how to get the most out of your child's schedule. So immediately, I know what you might be thinking. Schedule sounds very definite and maybe even limiting, especially since it's summer. Why does my child need a schedule over the summer when they have enough of that in school? But believe it or not, schedules are actually really beneficial for kiddos. Kids crave consistency, so having a schedule for your kiddo is actually the best thing you can do. Kids have a much more black and white brain than we do. It'll develop obviously into an adult brain where there's a lot of gray area. But as of right now, if you're thinking about young kiddos, they have a lot of that black and white, play or chore. There's not a whole lot of in between. So when you have a schedule, there's not any of that gray, confusing area. You're actually making it so that way they use their time well and they enjoy their time and they get the most out of their time for the day. So here are a few tips that I have to create an effective and efficient schedule for your kiddos. And this could be for elementary or middle or high, any of the above. Now, high are going to be more likely to create their own schedule. They're a little bit older. But some of the tips today still apply to all kids of all ages. Okay, first tip is get up and move. So movement is vital. We know that there are tons of studies out there that talk about how movement really helps with learning or in any kind of case scenario. If you get up and move in the morning, you're helping your blood flow, you're helping oxygen get to your brain, you're also relieving stress. Now, you may not feel immediately stressed when you wake up, but there might be some tense thoughts from the day before, and even kids have this too, where they need to kind of shake it out and get moving with their day. This is a great way to start the day fresh. So get up and move. Even as adults, this is a great thing. When I've been doing a lot of research on like really successful people and what are the things that they do in the morning or any time during the day to help them feel successful. And one of the first things that I found, and it's very consistent among a lot of successful entrepreneurs, is movement. Get up and move. So that's the first tip. Secondly, morning time is learning time. So there's also some more studies to say that the morning time is the most optimal time for learning new things. So if you're going to teach your kids something, or if you're going to have them do a STEM activity, or you're going to have them do a new learning activity, do it in the morning. That is going to be the best time for your kid to really absorb the information and feel engaged. So morning time is learning time. Next tip is make and create. So it may seem a little silly, especially as you get older, like in the middle school, high school range, but make and create can be anything you want. Basically, allow your kids the opportunity to be creative. And I would carve out a time in the day to accommodate for that. Not just be like, well, you can do art when you feel like it or something like that. I would seriously encourage you making some time to make and create something. It can be baking, it can be painting, it can be dancing, it can be Legos. It can be all different kinds of things. If they're making something or creating something, they are using the creative artistic skill that they're going to want to learn and use later on in their life. And it really helps as a de-stressor. It helps get your critical thinking going and your imagination brain going, which is all really important. So make and create. Next tip is chores. So I'm pretty sure that everybody has their kids doing chores at some point during the day, which is a good thing. Kids need chores. But if you're planning a schedule, I would definitely carve out a time where they organize something or clean something. We know it helps us as parents, but it also, and as educators, but it also helps teach them responsibility. So I wouldn't put that off to the side. Part of my schedule that I would create for a kiddo is having a designated time where they get chores done. And maybe that's flexible. Maybe each day they do something different. Maybe they're organizing one day and they're cleaning something the next day. But making sure that they're doing a chore as part of the schedule each and every day teaches responsibility, and it also teaches them that chores are constant. We know this as an adult. I have dishes in my sink every single day. That will never end. So teaching a kid that chores and organization and all of that stuff is happening every single day on a consistent time frame helps them understand it as an adult, because it will happen. Okay, next tip is explore outdoors. So you might already have your kid going outdoors over the summer. But I would definitely, if you haven't, I would definitely include this. If you're creating a schedule, I would definitely carve out time for them to be outdoors. And that can be a whole myriad of things. It could be swimming, it could be hiking, it could be walking, it could be jumping on the trampoline, it could be a whole bunch of things. But getting them outdoors for a block of time, even when they're like, no, I'm kind of tired, I don't really want to feel like it, like put them outdoors. Even if they're sitting outdoors. That's gonna be really good for them. Even like I said, even if they're sitting, they're still getting sun rays, so they're getting vitamin D. They're still getting fresh air, which is so helpful. I can't tell you how ineffective you will feel if you are stuck inside the house all day long. And kids are the same way. If they are stuck inside the house, you're going to find frustration and you're going to find inefficiency. They will not get as many things done, and they're not going to feel as happy throughout their day if they're not getting a little bit of outdoor time. So make sure to put that into your schedule. Next tip is calm down after the playful storm. So my suggestion is usually doing outdoor time right around the lunchtime. You'll see that's pretty consistent with school schedules as well, and there's a reason for that. But if you have, let's say you're having your kids, it's like 11 o'clock, and you're having your kids go outside. Perfect. And then you have lunch, and then maybe your kids want to go outside for a little bit longer. Awesome. After that point, after that playful storm of them getting out, eating a lot and then going and playing, I would do a calm down activity. So that could be a lot of things. That could be meditation if you want to try that. Good luck. That could be reading. That could be writing, but I would keep it casual. So I wouldn't do it as like an intense research paper at that point. I would just do like free writing. Something that's calming, that's going to kind of bring them down from that endorphin high of running around and eating good food and doing all these things. You want to kind of bring them down, especially since the afternoon tends to be a little bit slower. They're not going to be quite as zippy to go. So giving them a calm down, like a blocked out calm down period where they're still doing something, but they're calming their body down after playing. That's going to be really helpful, and you'll find that that's going to make them happier, and it's going to, again, help with the efficiency. Next tip is reward breaks up the day. So rewards throughout the day is going to help you with your sanity and theirs. So especially with younger kiddos too, I would definitely carve out time. Now, quick caveat, if it's older kids, you might think about putting a block of time like for technology or for free time or something at the end of the day, because older kids are going to have much more patience and self-control to be able to wait all day long to get to that reward at the end of the day. So that's definitely a consideration. If you have young kiddos, I would not suggest this, because your younger kiddos do not have enough self-control to wait until the end of the day. And what happens is your kiddos are going to get so burnt out after a few activities, your really young ones, that they're going to completely forget the reward at the end of the day, and it's basically for nothing. So if you have younger kiddos, I would seriously consider doing a system where maybe they do like 2 or 3 activities, and then they earn some technology time, or they earn a break, or they earn some reading time, or whatever it is they like to do. So keep that in mind too. Their free time should be free time. And I mean that they should be doing what they like to do, because in their mind, that's a reward. So they do a few activities, and then they get 15, 20 minutes to do whatever they want to do, within reason, of course. But this is going to keep them motivated, especially those younger kiddos. So I would consider adding rewards to break up the day, because that's going to keep your kid really excited and keep going. So when that time comes, when it's halfway through the day and they're thinking, I can't manage through the rest of the day, I'm falling apart, you can say, hey, you only have another activity, one more, until you earn some TV time. So, keep it up. And you'd be surprised how much that perks them up. It's one of those things, little rewards. It's the same thing when we're trying, as adults, let's say we're trying to work out and we decide, well, okay, I'm going to do this really hard workout, and then I'm going to treat myself to a cup of coffee or some chocolate. Like, it works, right? It works. It's effective. So rewards break up the day. And lastly, be flexible while consistent. So just because you're creating a schedule doesn't mean that you have to be really, really rigid. Let's say you're creating like a schedule for time. So like 9 a.m. you do this and 10 a.m. you do this. It's okay to move things around a little bit. Let's say your child's having a really good time making and creating, and they kind of go over the time limit. don't feel like you have to stop them at that time and say, oh, well, the schedule says at 10 o'clock we have to switch gears to math, so, let's get moving. If they're really engaged in something and it's helpful for them, that's okay. Like, let them play a little bit longer. It's not a big deal. However, consistency is important. So when I say consistency and flexibility, it seems like it's kind of contradictory. But consistency in being that each part of the morning you get up and move. That's consistent. Every single day you get up and move. Consistency is morning time is learning time. So it doesn't have to be the same activity, and it doesn't have to be at 10:10 a.m. every single morning, but it has to be in the morning. So there's a flexible consistency that you can have with your kiddos, and that's going to help you with your sanity, because let's be honest, when do things always go by schedule? All of the time. Like, that's another just life lesson. Things don't always go to schedule every single minute of every single day, and allowing for some flexibility will maybe even encourage creativity with your kiddos, and also just keep the sanity, because ultimately the schedule is there to be effective and efficient, but also fun and helpful. And if it's causing more issues, then my suggestion would be to revamp your schedule or how you're going about your schedule, because the schedule should be a fun thing. And not to mention, a lot of kids feel more calm when they can see what's going on during the day. So if you have a kiddo that's like, oh, what's going on, mom? What's happening next? What's happening next? Which we've all seen that kid. So if they're doing that, which is totally normal, kids are doing that because that's how their brain works. But if kids are doing that, allowing for them to see the schedule posted up and say, oh, well, you can go ahead and problem solve that. What's next on the schedule? That's another teaching responsibility to them. That's another good life lesson for them to learn. So all of these things are good. I hope these tips have helped you. If you are thinking about creating a schedule and you have any kind of questions, please reach out to me. I absolutely love creating schedules. I do it all of the time. So I am happy to give you guys some suggestions or tips or tricks or whatever you would like. So also, every single week, on Wednesdays, I post a new video. I would love to hear some feedback, or if there's something that you want me to talk about, please let me know and I will create a video on it, or I will at least research into it and let you know. So please let me know. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I so appreciate all the people that have been watching. It makes my day. I really hope that I can help all of you. Please make sure to share it. If you have some friends or parents or educators that you think might benefit from my work, please feel free to share. Let's make sure to spread the love. And don't forget that there are new articles on my website, learningwithmrslasley.com. I add new content to there every single week. So please make sure to keep up on that. And that way you can stay up to date on all the new things that are going on. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and happy learning.